There's one more ability you've got, though, which is hyperspace, which is actually, there's no graphics to show it off. It's pretty unremarkable, so I press this button and I just teleport. And that shows the downside of hyperspace. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play 1001 Games. I'm your host, Gaming Jay, and today we are jumping back into 1979 with the Atari classic known as Asteroids. This was an arcade hit back in the day, and we're going to have a lot to say about this game, but let's go ahead and get started here. Everybody knows Asteroids. Asteroids is one of those interesting games that even if you've never actually played the original, and I imagine there's a lot of people who've never played the original. I mean, up until today, I had actually never played the original myself. But it's one of those games that's so iconic that, you know, people don't have to play the original to know what is happening in Asteroids. It's one of those interesting games when you think about it. It's like, yeah, like nobody actually has played the original. And I'm showing my amazing Asteroid skill right off the bat, by the way, by just dying. But yeah, it's one of those games that's been remade so many times, and it's been, you know, on TV shows and in movies, and it is sort of one of the definitive ideas of what a video game is. I think historically, and so everyone knows Asteroids even if you've never played it. So anyway, in case you don't know Asteroids, this is Asteroids. I'm in control of this little triangular ship here, and my goal is to rid the universe of evil, disgusting asteroids. Because that's what you do, I guess, when you're a spaceship in the middle of nowhere. I feel like this UFO that shows up periodically to shoot at me, it's not so much a bad guy as much as it is like the space police. They're kind of like, yo, you can't just show up in our neighborhood and literally destroy everything. These asteroids are like habitats to different alien creatures. What is wrong with you? And they're trying to like shut me down. Meanwhile, I'm like, blah, kill it all, burn it all down. Like there really is no story with asteroids. We can invent one as I usually do. I mean, my guy literally, this would be like the equivalent of getting in your car, driving out into a field, and literally gunning down every tree and shrub you can find. Oh man, look at that one, that little UFO. Oh, get out of there. So you can shoot. I'm not moving around very much because I find it really hard to move and shoot at the same time. Like, look. Okay, hold on. You can thrust. While I'm thrusting around now, I feel like if anything, I've just, yeah, see, there you go, increased my chances of getting hit. Because now I'm moving around too, and it's too hard to keep track of. So, I mean, we can try and thrust around a little bit. It is kind of fun to fly around, but, oh god, I got a bullet to my butt for my troubles. Yeah, I feel like, for me, it's a better use of my limited cognitive capacity to try to, what happens here? There we go, J-A, to try to just stay in one spot and shoot. But we got the high score, which is pretty unremarkable considering nobody else had played this game. So I'm the only one on the leaderboard here. But, oh crap, we moved. The other thing you can do, is crash into an asteroid and die. We already know that. There's one more ability you've got, though, which is hyperspace, which is actually, there's no graphics to show it off. It's pretty unremarkable, so I press this button and I just teleport. And that shows the downside of hyperspace. Hyperspace literally randomly puts you somewhere else on the map, and it teleported me right into an asteroid. That's what I was about to say. The stupid thing, okay, we're not going to put my initials every single time because it just take too long. So now we're, didn't make it too far. But what is the point of a special ability that literally can kill you? It's actually pretty hilarious when you think about it. Like, in order to use this hyperspace button, you have to be pretty sure that by not using it, you're dead. So, okay, I'm going to use it right here. And, okay, I'm not dead there. I'm going to use it here. Not dead there. Here's my fourth time, and I died. So, you know, maybe about 25% of the time when you use this thing, if there's a lot on the screen, you're pretty much just dead. I guess it's more useful when there aren't too many asteroids around. So like now is probably a safer time to teleport. And you can get away from those UFOs. So I mean, it has some purpose. And like right there, I had to teleport because I was going to die. But it's very interesting. You know, I can't think of too many other games. I mean, like back when I played Final Fight, I complained that there was a special attack you could do that was really good, but it would drain your health. so you never really wanted to do it unless it was an emergency. I suppose this is kind of similar, only it would be like if there was a special move you could do that not only drained your life, but had like a 1 in 4 chance of just straight up killing you. Like, that's how desperate you have to be to use this move. Okay, and hanging around near the edge of the screen is not a good idea. Oh god. UFO again. I think the strategy for this is to try to shoot as many of the little asteroids as you can and don't let them multiply too much because they're a lot harder to hit. And they are kind of like a death sentence if too many of them appear on the screen. What's funny is that UFOs can be killed by the asteroids too. So it's not like they have immunity, which is kind of nice. Kind of nice that the developers decided to not give UFOs, the computer, an unfair advantage. Boom! Now, Asteroids here uses vector graphics, which basically means that it is a series of lines. These aren't sprites that are being drawn. The sort of, oh god, the more typical type of graphics that really evolved in the 80s for games, like with the rise of Nintendo and computers and stuff, were, damn it, or not damn it graphics, were, they called them raster graphics, basically sprites. It basically means they're just drawing pictures to a screen. Now I'm Za! Oh, Za has the high score. Okay, once I get good at this game, we'll play for a little bit here, but once I feel like I'm doing pretty good, I'm going to start entering my name again, because we do want to end on a high score. But vector graphics, every time I see vector graphics, they totally remind me of like the 70s and 80s. Because like, you could make a game out of vector graphics back in the day when it was like Asteroids, but you couldn't do this these days. Like, you couldn't draw textures using purely vector graphics. It just wouldn't work. Although, in a weird way, vector graphics do have something in common with the way 3D games are drawn. So maybe modern 3D games really are using a derivative of vector graphics. I don't know. But these very simplified vector graphics, they always remind me of these like really old games from the 70s and 80s. And because that's when this type of graphics was used. Now we do have the sort of Space Invaders heartbeat going on in the background, where the more asteroids I guess there are, the faster it's pumping. Like if you listen for a sec, you hear that dude. Oh god, stay away. See, I do pretty good when I just stay in one spot. I literally wouldn't notice a difference between this game if you had or did not have the thrust capability. Like, look, here I'll thrust, and I died right away. It's a death sentence. I'm sorry, you're just not going to see me thrusting very far. It's just not good for this playthrough. Now, one other interesting tidbit I thought I would share is that this game was developed... Oh, God! See, there I should hyperspaced. This game was developed by a fellow named Ed Logg. You may remember that name. He was also the friendly fellow who gave us Gauntlet. You guys remember when we played Gauntlet? Yeah, he was one of the main developers on Gauntlet. And... where am I? There we go. It took a while for me to appear. Apparently this game has a few bugs in it. Some like pretty game-breaking bugs. Like if you earn more than 250 lives, which is probably hard to do. But apparently you just straight up lose the game. It's like, oh, this guy's been too successful. Forget this. And if you get 50 lives, apparently the game starts slowing down. Now, we're in no danger of me ever hitting that 50 game mark, so we don't have to worry about that. But you know, if you're actually good at this game, there's such a thing as being too good. You don't want to be a show-off. And in fact, those might not be bugs. That might just be the developers being like, there's no showboating in Asteroids, damn it. If you want to be a dick and get 250 lives, go play Pac-Man or Ms. Pac-Man or something. Don't play our game. But Ed Logg, developer of Gauntlet, he was also the developer of a little Atari game called Centipede. And its sequel, Millipede, which is pretty funny, actually. They're like, well, we already did the 100-leg bug. Let's go for the 1,000-leg bug. Let's amp it up by 10. So he developed Centipede, Millipede. I think I'll be playing at least one of those for the series. If not, that's the type of game I would definitely play in my Saturday afternoon gaming, because it's so iconic. I wish I could quit my job and literally just play video games all day, every day. Because I was thinking about it today, like, there's so many games. Like, just on like, the Atari alone. Like, I want to play Super Pitfall 2 at some point, because I've never played that. But I hear it's better than the original, and I already played the original. you know, Frogger, and like all the big ones, Pac-Man, but Ms. Pac-Man, all that stuff. Like I could go on and on just on the Atari. So if any like independently wealthy people out there are like really into my channel, I am totally down with, you know, being funded in this little game quest. So go ahead, shoot me a couple $1 million and I will quit my job and just start making videos full time. Then I promise I'll make 3 videos a week, every week. That's what you get for a couple $1 million if you sponsor me. Anyway, Edlog, he made Centipede, Millipede. He also made a game called Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey, which was not as popular as games like Asteroids and these other games of his. You know, being a Canuck, I'm not a hockey fan per se. I've said this many times before. I'm not a huge sports guy, but I mean, I appreciate Wayne Gretzky was a hockey legend or whatever. So it's kind of funny that good old Ed Log there was making a Wayne Gretzky game. I guess I've never heard of this game before, but it was like a N64 game that they made back in the day, and it was more of an arcadey style hockey game. It was not like a simulation, not like a real quote-unquote hockey game. Anyway, that's the legacy of Edlog. I think he's definitely been involved a little bit more than that, but I mean, those are the big games that came up when I did my very thorough Wikipedia check on the guy. Now, in the context of Space Invaders, I keep wanting to call this game Space Invaders, but in the context of Asteroids here, whoa! Like, where is this guy? What is he doing? We've already established that this would be the equivalent of getting in your car, you know, packing a shotgun with as many bullets as you could carry, just going out into the wilderness and blowing the crap out of as much nature as you could find. But the weird thing is that if you, like, fly off the edge of the screen, you just appear at the bottom of the screen. So maybe this is not a guy who's trapped in nature. Maybe this is like a guy who's trapped in, like, some kind of purgatory. He's, like, in some kind of space hell. Where, like, there is no escape. There's nowhere for him to go. He'll never see his wife again, his child, who was just born to him. You know, he wasn't there for its birth. He was off on a space mission, and now he's like trapped in like some kind of space purgatory. I feel like this was a theme they sometimes touched on in Star Trek: The Next Generation, which is the best Star Trek in my opinion. But the idea of people just sort of trapped in space for a long time. One episode that comes to mind, there's one episode where they find a hotel. I don't want to explain the whole episode, but basically the Enterprise gets trapped on this around this alien planet, and they end up finding a weird 20th century hotel. It turns out some astronauts from the 20th century got stranded on that side of the universe, and the aliens who stranded them felt bad about it, so they found a book that one of the astronauts had that talked about like a murder mystery at a hotel, so they recreated the hotel because they thought that was what the astronauts wanted. Anyway, astronauts caught in purgatory. Maybe this is a similar thing. My guy is timeless, ageless. He now, for eternity, just has to go through space shooting asteroids. Or maybe this is like the last thing he experienced before he died. Maybe this was like... Whoa, get out of there. Maybe this was like a TIE fighter in that scene from Empire Strikes Back, where he was chasing Han Solo through the asteroids, and he was one of the TIE fighters that crashed into an asteroid and died. But in that like second before he died, his brain just sort of lived out, 100 years in his head, and he just sort of envisioned himself forever trapped in these asteroids because that is the last moment of his life where he died. Very, very dark and morbid. Or this guy just has rage issues. It's like, goddamn asteroids, I'll kill you all. Or maybe he's like a cleanup crew. This could be like a beautification project. That's the word I'm looking for. Wow, brain fart. Maybe like the Space Council decided, you know what, there's too many asteroids, we really want to build a space school out over here. Let's hire Johnson to get into his spaceship and literally just go blow them all up. And there's some indigenous life around there. They fly around in spaceships. They may try to defend these asteroids, as that's where they spawn and mate and stuff, but, as long as Johnson's on top of the ball, you can totally wipe them out. It's not a big deal. I wonder like how sentient an alien race would have to be before we would not want to wipe them out. Because historically, humans have literally wiped out any animal they want just because it's in their way. Like beavers, moose, you know, fish, forget about it. Even monkeys, who look pretty human-like. We're like, yeah, just destroy their habitat, who cares, just stupid monkeys. But, you know, as we venture into space, we may start encountering things that can think back. You know, we're pretty good thinkers and talkers, and we like to be in charge of everything. Maybe we'll start encountering aliens who are as good or better at thinking than us, and who don't appreciate being second fiddle to the whims of humanity. That's a scary thought. That's like the scary thing about space exploration. Like the cool thing is if we ever encountered aliens, that would be like a tremendously amazing day. It would change so much about how most people look at life and stuff. But at the same time, if we ever encounter aliens who are smarter or more aggressive than us, that's not a good thing, because they may decide that humanity is not worth the effort, and if they're more advanced than us, they may just wipe us out. So that's the terrifying thing. I think Stephen Hawking has even said that, you know, AI is kind of like aliens. Like, the day that we invent real AI, it will be like encountering alien intelligence. And people are all happy about AI being a thing very soon. Like, they're thinking maybe in 20 or 50 years we'll have true AI. But if somebody said to you, in 50 years we're going to meet aliens, and you have no idea what they're going to think about us, or what they're going to think, or what they're going to be capable of, would you be happy or nervous? And even me, who'd be happy about it, would also be a little bit nervous. So it's a good point. AI is a little scary. Look at this. Didn't even have to move. I'm like the laziest. If I am here to like clean out asteroids, I'm like the laziest dude ever. It's like, you know, you could be driving around. I'm like, yeah, I prefer to just sit back, sip on my big gulp, and let the bullets do the walking. Bullets do the walking, and I do the talking. And once in a while, I gotta teleport myself out of danger. So I'm learning that precise aiming is the way to go here. Rather than just trying to shoot, damn it, as many things as you can, you should really pay attention to the things that are closer to you and take a second to aim precisely at them. If you do that, the rest takes care of itself. See, look at that. Now those guys are a little annoying. Boom. I wonder, like, how good of a shot we could get. Like, if... So I'm shooting a lot of bullets. Like, I shot like 10 bullets there. Oh, God. Damn you, little dude. But I wonder if I could get, like, a sharpshooter achievement or something if I only shot very selectively and smartly. Okay. Die. Okay, hold on. Let's be very methodical about this. Let's imagine that we're low on bullets. Okay, we're missing a lot, though. This would be like when most people play Asteroids, I imagine they're like this. They're like, yeah, shoot it all, yeah. And this seems more fun. But imagine, this feels like what an old person would do. Like just lining it up, one shot at a time. And you're like, Grandpa, there's literally no cost to shooting more bullets. In fact, it can only help you. Because one of your stray bullets may kill it. And there's like, no, I gotta do it one at a time. Oh, missed that one. Oh, there we go. And we're gonna get this one. Oh, look, they're all coming for me now. I know why Grandpa has a weird accent like that. Oh my God. One other Star Trek episode that this reminds me of, because you can go, okay, so you can go off the screen like this. See, now this is just danger. This is stupid of me. It's like a death trap, what I'm doing right now. Oh God, get away from that! Okay, go this way instead. Oh, the asteroid took care of the ship for us. Okay, we're gonna have some fun and fly around with this. But the other Star Trek episode this reminds me of, there's one where they find like a second Enterprise, and it's like some trick from some like more intelligent alien than them. But there's basically like, they're on the bridge of the second Enterprise. Why am I slowing down? There shouldn't be like gravity or whatever in space. It's weird. They're on the bridge of the second Enterprise, and basically, damn it, when they try and leave the Enterprise, the door they walk through takes them back onto the bridge, only the other side of the room. It's basically like the alien has created a Pac-Man maze, where if you exit to the right, you end up appearing on the left. And it really freaks them out. And it's kind of true that, you know, wherever our little intrepid space pilot here is, he is trapped in some kind of weird purgatory like that. And it's kind of a cool idea that if you walk too far left, you appear on the right. But actually, that would be pretty terrifying, I gotta say. Like, if this was real. I would... I mean, humans have never experienced anything like that before. I'm sure, like, at some point in time, we'll figure out how to do stuff like that. Teleporter, or warp space-time, or something, I don't know. But that would definitely be very trippy. If you, like, walked out of a room and then you walked back in the same room, like, that's the type of stuff you see in, like, horror movies and stuff. And the thrust killed me again. Blah. Now, I said at the beginning of this video that this is the type of game that, like, everyone knows, even if they've never played it. And it's because it's had so many sequels and remakes and variations over the years. Oh, you like that? That was a skill shot at the last minute. I feel like the asteroids that move fast are like ones that are trying really hard, and the ones that move slow just don't give any don't give any Fs, you know? Like, look at this one. It's the laziest asteroid in the world. He's like a honey badger asteroid. He didn't give a crap. But this game has so many remakes, so many sequels. In fact, the next video that I end up uploading will be a sequel to this. And I'll talk a little bit more about this at that point, but Asteroids has been such an influential game. It has influenced, you know, like we talked about thrust clones and stuff, and we played like Gravity Force and even Subterranea. I mean, those games really owe their existence to games like Asteroids. Interestingly, if you go back to one of the videos I made for my Saturday afternoon gaming series, I played a little game called Space War, and you may think, oh yeah, Space War, I bet it was influenced by Asteroids here. In fact, here's a little bit of space trivia for you. It was just the opposite. Space War, the version that I played, I think it came out in the 80s, but Space War is actually a much older game. I think it was invented in the 60s, in fact. And it actually was the predecessor to this. It's kind of interesting when you think about it, because Asteroids here is pretty simple, and it's like a one-player game. What was that? It sounded like a cell phone alarm just went off. Did I get an extra life or something? Because if so, that is awesome. Didn't think I would ever reach that point. Oh, we're doing really good in terms of our score. Oh, get out of there. This will definitely be one where we enter our initials. Get away from the edge of the screen. Boom, boom, boom. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Space War. Space War influenced this game. It's kind of interesting that they took Space War and they made it single player. I wish there were, like, more sophisticated enemies that we were fighting. I mean, I kind of consider Space War a little more advanced than Asteroids. It would be interesting if they mixed the two, so that there were asteroids and an opponent. That would be kind of cool. I guess it's what the UFOs are a little bit when they show up. But, you know, having things like shields and phasers versus torpedoes, I mean, that's what was in Space War. I mean, that kind of stuff. That'd be cool if it existed here, too. I guess, you know, it was the golden era of video games, which basically means games were very primitive at the time, so I guess that's why they didn't bother including it. Technical limitations. Damn it! Ah, you jerk. That was a 1-for-1. We both died there. But they've remade Asteroids so many times over the years. But what's interesting is, like, it never became like a series. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save this. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more when I play the sequel to this Blasteroids. But keep that in mind. As influential as Asteroids was, why didn't it give rise to a whole series of Asteroids games the same way that there are, like, Mario games out there? And we'll return to this issue later. God damn it. What other games out there can you guys think of that are, like, so influential that, like, you just know what the game is about even though you might have never played it? Like, Frogger's probably one. Everyone probably knows what Pac-Man is even if they've never played it. I mean, I'm curious because I can only speak from, like, my own experience, and I grew up in the 80s, so it's like my view of games are probably slightly different than someone who's younger than me. For example, I think I talked about this in another video, but anyway, I recently watched a video of teens playing Portal, and they'd never played Portal before, and Portal does not seem like an old game to me. I still remember when Portal came out, and it was new, and The Cake is a Lie was a meme, and all that stuff. Like, it feels like a new game to me. It came out in 2007, I think. And in this teens play, the teens are like, oh, Portal, I've never played this game before, but yeah, I've heard about it. Something about the cake is a lie, is that it? And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, who hasn't played Portal? And then I kind of realized, you know, well, you're old, Jay. There are people a lot younger than you out there. They're loving life and enjoying it, whereas you're on the way out because you're so ancient. But I realized that, why did I just die there? Okay, I think sometimes the teleporting kills you and there literally isn't anything there. I don't think an asteroid got me. I think my guy typed in the computations to his hyperspace a little sloppily. My guy not only is so lazy, he doesn't want to thrust around while he kills these asteroids, but he doesn't even want to bother entering in the correct math to jump into hyperspace, you idiot. That's pretty essential. God damn it. But yeah, anyway, with the whole thing with the teens is, you know, what game's out there? I mean, it shocks me that Portal would be a game like that, but okay, maybe it is. I guess it is. It's a game that some people know of, but they never played. So what are some of the other games out there that people know of, but like they've never played? I'd be super curious to hear from people, especially people who are younger or even older than me. I mean, you could imagine older people being like, oh yeah, Fallout. I heard a lot about Fallout, but I never played it. Whereas Fallout was like one of the games I played as a kid. It was like, see, I died right there, and no asteroid hit me. Oh, man. Well, let's start wrapping up here, because I feel like I got a good sense of asteroids. We've talked about some historical facts. We've come up with what I think is a pretty reasonable backstory. I'm going with this guy was just bored one Saturday afternoon, so he hopped into his spaceship, he jumped into hyperspace, and he was like, I'm literally gonna wreck shit out. I'm just gonna go destroy as much of space nature as I can, and I don't care who wants to stop me. Let's look at our high scoreboard for a second here. Let's see who's played this game. Well, Jay is number 1. I told you I would get the high score. Za is number 2. Then we have and then we have Jay again. And then the rest of the board is just people named I like to think that these are like quotes from the different pilots just as they were about to die. So most of them screamed, "Ah!" One guy went, "Za?" And and 2 of them went, Jay. Those were like the badass pilots, like an asteroid's about to hit them in the face, and they know it's over, and they just say solemnly, Jay. And then they die. The Za guy was confused. He was like, Za? And then he died. And then everyone else was like, ah! They should do that in a game. They should make it so that the high scoreboard is literally the thing you scream as you die. That would make for a hilarious high scoreboard. Whew. All right. Well, Asteroids. Hugely successful, hugely influential game from the Golden Age. I actually had a little bit of fun here. Now, this isn't the best game out there. This isn't a game I necessarily think everyone has to play before they die. So I'm actually gonna, cut to the chase right now and say, should you play this before you die? Maybe. It's not a strong yes. It's you could or you could not. But what's interesting is it actually felt very smooth. The aiming felt very good. The mechanics felt pretty good. Even the hyperspace, once I got over the randomness of it, that it could kill you, it was a good ability. I mean, this game reminds me of modern games like Geometry Wars or Shooter, like Pixel Junk Shooter, which I played, or like games like Space War and stuff. Like, the controls are pretty damn smooth. The core gameplay loop of killing these asteroids, it's not bad. It's not bad. I think these days it's just a little simple. And so for anyone who's interested in Asteroids, as I've been saying, there's so many different remakes of it. I'm sure you can find modern remakes that introduce some more mechanics, that add some more depth and playability to the game. But I could see this, especially in the early days of gaming. I understand why this game was so, engrossing. Like, it is kind of a fun game. Like, I'm still kind of having fun. It's kind of fun to watch your bullet hit an asteroid and watch it explode into little bits. If I could get a little better at the flying around, I think that would be fun. But, I mean, the other thing is there's largely no reason to fly around. Like, you can just literally stay in one spot. So, I mean, I'm sure, I guess the more advanced players would fly around more. But I mean, I just need my teleport button. I wouldn't notice a big difference from this game if you just could teleport and shoot. I don't really need to be able to fly, but hey, that's just me and my simple mind. You know, the downsides largely revolve around its simplicity. It would be nice if there were things like more complicated enemies to shoot, and if there was, you know, a little more going on. But, I mean, you gotta take it for what it was. I don't think those are absolute downsides, because at the time when this game came out, there would have been lots of limits they were working with. I mean, this game didn't even have a sound chip. The sounds that you're hearing, they had to like hardwire into like the motherboards or whatever, the game console boards. That's like some pretty sophisticated hacking just to put sound in a game. So it's like the stuff I'm complaining that isn't here, there's limits. They probably couldn't have included it. So as I say, is this a game you should play before you die? I think probably one of the variants of it, or one of the descendants of this game. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the core gameplay concepts from this game have lived on. But in terms of this specific arcade game, I don't think it's absolutely necessary, because it's, you know, it's rather dated by today's standards. That's just my 2 cents. Happy to hear what you guys think about this game down in the comments below. But whatever you think about this game, if you have been enjoying this video, please go ahead, give me a like, give me a subscribe. I'll be back in a couple days with a new video and a new game, and you don't want to miss out on that. So until next time, guys, it's been lots of fun. Take care of yourselves. Peace.